Well, an emergency room doctor shifted his focus to addiction medicine after a compelling personal experience.
Oh yeah, now Dr. Starner Jones is helping patients and their families recover through his programs at Recovery Now. Welcome in.
Thank you, Laura.
Dr. Starner, I want to start at the beginning. The moment that you knew this was the specific field that you needed to make a difference in.
I met my father when I was 28 years old. He was living in a shack in Mississippi that did not have running water or electricity. He was huddled next to a propane heater to stay warm and had lost everything because of alcohol addiction. My father had 11 DUIs in 7 years. The chief of police in his hometown of 2,500 people called my brother one day and said, "Your father's not doing well. He needs to be committed to the state hospital." My father was committed to the state hospital, detoxed by a doctor who saved his life, and he never used alcohol again. He lived the last 12 years of his life sober. We had a good relationship, as good as it could be given the circumstances. He was kind, loving, benevolent with what little he had, great storyteller, absolutely hilarious. But my father had a saying. He said, "Addiction will take everything you have and then it will kill you." And for people who are untreated, it's absolutely true.
And you're helping people now at Recovery Now. You guys have 5 facilities here locally. Please tell us what you do there.
We have 5 locations and are in network with all major insurance companies, including TennCare. We treat patients with all kinds of addictions and operate from a core belief that addiction is a disease, not a moral failing. We also have an intensive outpatient program and offer therapy to patients with addiction, which helps them learn how to manage triggers.
Yes, so important, especially when you're out in the real world. I love that you're seeing humans, the human in your patients. Do you have any success stories that you could share?
We do. We treat patients from all walks of life, the rich, the poor, and everyone in between. We've treated doctors, lawyers, nurses, truck drivers, teachers, stay-at-home moms, you name it. One person who comes to mind is a guy who was convicted of armed robbery and spent 17 years in the Tennessee state prison system. He worked a program and became sober. After he was released from prison, he perfected his skills as a carpenter and started his own company. Today he has 25 employees, and the other day he told me that his company had done just over $1.8 million in revenue this year.
Wow.
He and many others are proof that sobriety is life-changing. That's what we do at Recovery Now.
What an incredible story. How does someone know when they need to call Recovery Now and register?
It's a great question. We use something called the CAGE questionnaire, C-A-G-E. If a person feels like they need to cut down on substance use, or if they feel annoyed when other people mention it, that's a sign that they need help. If they feel guilty or need an eye-opener to start the day, that's also a sign that they need help.
What have you, Dr. Starner, personally learned when working with others in this capacity?
There's always a reason for hope. And the patients that we treat on a daily basis prove that. Just like substance use is a lifestyle, sobriety is a lifestyle.
Do you have any tips for those at home that may be thinking their loved one is going through?
It's easy to feel alone when a person struggles with addiction. The first thing that we advise is to inform the person that they're not alone and that there's help. The best way to approach it is to simply say, these people can help, and give them the website, recoverynowusa.com.
Very good. There are many recovery centers out there, so we've got to ask, what sets Recovery Now apart from others?
We get this question a lot. Recovery Now is different in 3 ways. Number 1, we treat addiction as a disease rather than a moral failing. Number 2, we're outpatient. And 3, we teach people to be dogmatic about sobriety and wear it like a badge of honor.
Very good.
What's next for Recovery Now? You already have opened 5 places. You're helping so many people.
We're about to open an inpatient detox, which will be another service that will add on top of the medication-assisted treatment license, the mental health license, and PHP and IOP.
Yeah, wonderful. And you're treating everything, opioids, go through that list.
We treat every kind of addiction, mostly opioid use disorder, alcohol use disorder. We see a lot of cocaine use disorder patients, amphetamine dependents, and also increasingly we're seeing a lot of people who are dependent on kratom Mitragyna speciosa, which has opiate-like effects, but is not an opiate itself.
You were telling me that you guys treat addiction as a disease, and that you personally didn't always see it that way.
No, like many people, especially in the ER, I just kind of viewed it as a, why can't you just stop? Well, that's just not how it works. Not to get too technical, but there's a gene on the short arm of chromosome 11 called the A1 allele. An allele is a cluster of genes, and the A1 allele codes for a relative deficiency of dopamine receptors in the brains of people who have it. And those people don't experience the euphoria of substance use the way people who don't have the gene experience it. They don't have an off switch. These are the people who have to drink the whole bottle, the whole case, the whole keg, the whole truckload, the whole bar. They simply don't have an off switch. And so those people have to be treated as people who have a legitimate disease. It's not a moral failing.
Yes, so well said. Dr. Starner, thank you so much. We
Thank you.
appreciate you. Everyone, if you or someone you know needs help and wants to get a fresh start in the new year, visit recoverynowusa.com and click on Addiction and Recovery here in Nashville.